The air in the digital streets of the Southeast has just turned toxic, thick with a kind of venomous propaganda that seeks to tear apart the very fabric of a family already in pain. Imagine a woman who has spent years raising a son without a father, a woman whose husband is currently in chains, and who now wakes up to find her own name being dragged through the mud by the same movement she has sacrificed everything for. The atmosphere is no longer just tense, it is suffocating. The cold wind of betrayal is blowing through the restoration movement, and at the center of this storm is Uchechi Okwu-Kanu, a woman who is being forced to fight a war on two fronts, one against the state holding her husband, and another against the shadows within her own house. This is the dramatic event that has sent shockwaves through social media. A massive, coordinated propaganda campaign has been launched against Uchechi Okwu-Kanu. A tweet surfaced from an account linked to the movement, listing her name alongside government officials and military leaders as people who have allegedly sabotaged the cause. They are accusing her of supporting the same administration that is currently detaining her husband. This isn't just a disagreement, it is a calculated attempt to distract, divide, and destroy the credibility of Nnamdi Kanu's closest ally. The breaking gist here is clear. The internal factions within the Southeast have turned their guns inward, using Uchechi as a gambling chip in a high-stakes power struggle that she never asked to lead. Let's step into the explainer booth to understand the history of this divide-and-conquer technology. Historically, liberation movements around the world, from the anti-apartheid struggle in South Africa to the civil rights movement in the US, have been brought down not by external enemies, but by internal disunity. The technology being used here is psychological warfare. By planting seeds of doubt about the leader's wife, the distractors are hoping to weaken the resolve of the followers. They are using the life sentence of Nnamdi Kanu as a tool to create a leadership vacuum, and anyone who stands in the way, including his own wife, is being labeled a traitor. This deep dive reveals a painful truth. A movement with 1,000 different voices and factions cannot possibly speak to power with one clear demand. The ripple effect of this chaos hits every single person in the Southeast. While the government statement might ignore these internal squabbles, the reality on the street is that this disunity is why the struggle feels like it's stuck in a loop. When one group calls for a sit-at-home and another says don't listen to them, it is the local market woman and the small business owner who pay the price. The contrast is sharp. The people are crying for freedom, but the leaders are fighting for control. This attack on Uchechi Kanu is more than just internet drama. It is a sign of a movement in disarray. If you cannot respect the woman who has stood by your leader through years of physical and mental torture, then how can you claim to respect the cause itself? This is a final warning and a call to vigilance. Stop the friendly fire. If the goal is truly the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and the restoration of a region, then this level of internal sabotage is the fastest way to ensure that goal is never achieved. We must decide if we are a people who value the truth or a people who are easily manipulated by anonymous handles and digital propaganda. Expect the coming weeks to be a test of character for every supporter of the movement. Will you stand by a woman who is clearly hurting, or will you join the mob and throw stones at a house that is already being battered by the state? What do you think? Is this propaganda against Uchechi Kanu a sign that the movement has lost its way, or is it a necessary cleaning of the house? Drop your comments below. I want to see your honest thoughts on this betrayal. Subscribe for more updates.